pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor is Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state under God, one indivisible. I'd like to welcome everybody to our meeting this morning. Let the records show that all the commissioners are here with the exception of Commissioner Sadler. Do we have any citizen comments? So we'll keep going. Number 6 is going to be our consent agenda. I hope you've had a chance to take a look at that. Is there any additions, deletions, or discussion? Have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Second. And a second. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Let's go into our regular agenda here, and we're going to start with item number 7. That's the burn ban. Matt, you see any reason for it to do? Okay, we'll just pass that, and then the burn ban will still be lifted for now. Let's go ahead and move to item number 8, and that's to receive and approve a safety report concerning any accidents or safety concerns in the past month.
There's none further to the report, so with that, I'll make a motion to approve the safety report without any incidents.
Okay, a motion. Second. And a second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item number 9, accept the record required monthly operation reports from county official. Before we go further on that, as we say, 2 things, a little bit of an amendment to our report. The treasurer is making a change in her report that she's moving $4.75 million that was received yesterday over into the textbook account. So that needs to be said on that. And then actually on the ARPA report, I think we need to designate the remaining balance of the contract. You had the amount.
$20,542.56.
That's it?
That's it.
We need to make sure that report reflects that we're going to move that amount to pay the engineering fee if we have any for the debris removal, the disaster that we have for our roads, anything of that nature.
Date studies? Date studies?
Yes, sir.
So we want to make sure that and I think we have to have it designated by
the end of this
month. And so by putting it in that report, we'll get it done. Okay. Past that, we have other reports from other officials. Do anybody want to comment on their reports? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That will pass. So let's go ahead on item number 10, and this is going to be an introduction of welcoming a new extension agent. It's Mallory Randy. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. Good morning. Can I just call you Mallory?
Yeah, that works.
All right. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us all about you.
I'm Mallory Randig. I am currently a senior at Texas A&M. I will graduate this upcoming Thursday with a degree in agricultural communications and agricultural leadership. And I'm really excited to get started in Limestone County.
Okay. And you did both root for Texas Longhorns, didn't you?
One in the
Ooh, that's a good question.
No, we're excited to have Mallory come to Limestone County. We did have a start date of January 13th. And so that will be about a month.
On behalf of the commission, I say welcome to you. And I know you'll be working with Emily and always good things happen there. So thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Nice to meet you.
All right. Let's go ahead and well, thank you, Jay, for coming.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Item number 11 is going to be approval of the 2024 tax roll. This is pretty much a formality, but anything you want to say
I
about it?
really don't have anything to say unless y'all have any questions. We took the values, calculated the levy with the new rate, and this is what we've come up with, and we're already collecting. Anyhow,
Okay. Total taxes, $15,814,798.88. Anybody want to approve that?
So moved.
Second. Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I'll pass that down, let you guys sign it, so we can should get that done. And that will pass then. So now then, let's go to, let's go ahead and get this one done. This is discuss take action on tree maintenance proclamation. Before you, I have a proclamation here that's going to be presented. on December the 17th. And so, that being said, I'm going to go ahead and read this proclamation. Whereas the Limestone County Commissioners Court recognizes Tuesday, December the 17th, 2024, as the Tree of Angels Day in Limestone County. And whereas people against violent crimes initiated the first Tree of Angels in Austin, Texas in 1991. And whereas Limestone County Commissioners Court recognizes the holiday season is particularly a difficult time for crime victims and their families. Whereas the special day honors surviving victims and victims' families by making it possible for loved ones to bring an angel ornament to place on a specialized Christmas tree. The Tree of Angels is a reverent form that expresses love and support for the crime victims within our community. And whereas the Tree of Angels has been officially registered with the United States Office of Patents and Trademarks to provide crime victims ownership with their own event in December. And whereas Governor Greg Abbott has declared the second week of December 2024 as the Tree of Angels Week, now therefore be it resolved, Limestone County Commissioners Court declares Tuesday, December 17th as the Tree of Angels Day in Limestone County, signed Richard Duncan County Judge, Limestone County, on December 10th, 2024. That being said, do we have a motion to approve this? There's a motion second and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, and there will be a event on the 17th. They have each year. It's really nice to get everybody to come.
I think it's 5 o'clock, is that correct?
I believe that's right. Okay, let's go ahead then, and go into item 13, consideration authorizing the county judge to execute the settlement participation and release form regarding the settlement offers program in the matter of Texas opioid multi-district litigation for the county in the matter of County Limestone County and Tree LLP. Settlement presentation, I believe, Mr. Beckham, you're going to give us a presentation. If you don't mind, introduce yourself.
Yes, Judge. My name is Blake Beckham, and I have a ranch here in Limestone County, crossed over to Freestone County. I've lived in Dallas during the week, and then I really live down here on the weekends. And I have a law firm in Dallas named Beckham Portella, and we've done a lot of work in this area on the high-speed rail. Because of that, I was asked by my friend Jeff Simon, who is the attorney in charge of the firm that has a lot of the opioid cases. There's several law firms across the state, but Limestone and Freestone and some other counties are represented by the Simon and Tier firm. And so I have been the liaison between Limestone County and the Simon and Tier firm. I have worked on strategy on the case. I don't work on it daily. I have other things, but I've been down here to help get this settlement approved. So I've got a packet that if you would out to each one of the commissioners. Before I start, I will just say during my career, I've been to lots of county commissioners court meetings, and it's the most crisply run meeting I've ever seen, and y'all have outstanding staff to take care of you. I hope all the commissioners know how fortunate they are. It's good staff taking care of it. I was in the county last week, and we put a PowerPoint out, and they said, "What's a PowerPoint?" Mike's over here got us taken care of. So there's one thing in the PowerPoint, in your folder that's not in the PowerPoint, and let's just start with that sheet. So what I did was to total up all of the settlements that has happened so far. All of the settlements in these opioid cases are in the statutory framework. They all go the same way. The state gets 15%. The counties and the political subdivisions like hospital districts or cities get 15%. And the remaining 70% goes into funds for those subdivisions. And so it's a 15, 15, 70 split. They've all been exactly the same. These are in chronological order. And the last one on this list, which we're asking to be approved today, is the Kroger settlement. Now, the settlement overall is $85 million. What trickles down, the 15% that goes to the counties is where Limestone County is going to get direct money. Limestone is split up by population. And so Limestone has about 0.1% of the eligible pool. I was in Freestone last week. They have a third of that. So Freestone got a little over $3,000 directly. Limestone will be getting $10,000 on this settlement. The total line down there shows how much Limestone has received to date on this series of lawsuits. It's $318,000 in direct payments. Now, as importantly, and this is something I'll come back and talk to you guys about on another time, but Limestone is in Region 16, and Region 16 gets a minimum of $19 million up to 22 in the settlements that have happened up to date. Now, what's that money for? All the counties, including Limestone, or political subdivisions like a hospital district, can apply for that money. And when I was at Freestone, I asked them, have you guys applied for anything? They said, no, we don't know how, we don't know what to do. So they asked me to get together a paper for them, and I will do the same thing for y'all. I'm not being charged with that. And the types of things, hey, the county needs more ambulances because we've had, some of our medical emergency services diverted for opioid overdoses. And we're not around to help heart attacks or strokes or diabetic comas or whatever, we're overdoing it on opioids. Also, some counties are asking for a clinic or helping a doctor or just law enforcement. So the county will need to analyze where the opioid epidemic has hurt them. And I think what will happen is that the counties that are aggressive and get out there and ask for money will get some. And some that sit around and do nothing will not. So if, 15% go to the state, 15% goes to the county, but 70% is set aside for needs of those counties specifically. And there's a referee in the process, but we need to be, Limestone County needs to be aggressive and find out where it might have need. So Michael, on the overall settlement, if we just go to slide 1, that gives you, that's in your packet as well, but again, there's the 15-15-70 split. It's a $83 million gross settlement paid over 11 years, and if possible, I would like to get the release and the resolution signed today. Judge Duncan, those are tabs 4 and 5 in the packet before you. So we've done that work. Mike, if you go to the next slide, please. So this is the Kroger settlement, the next slide. This is called a statewide opioid settlement agreement, or a SOSA, and they're all done exactly the same way. The fees on this $83 million settlement, the 8.7% attorney's fees, and that's the $7 million too. That goes to about 10 different law firms that all have different, some law firms have 5 counties, some have 10 counties and 3 hospital districts or whatever, but there's a group of firms working across the state, and car wreck, you might get 40% attorney's fees. On this deal, it's 8.7%. Mike, we can go on to the next slide. And so then there again is the highlights of what happens specifically with respect to Limestone County. We start with $75 million, which is the $83 million net of attorney's fees. So $75 million comes in over 11 years, and it'll be split up 15, 15, 17. Limestone's going to get $10 million, and we already went over the figures what Region 16 has. So if we go on to the next slide. And so that is the share for Limestone County, $535,000. And again, Region 16 overall has right at $20 million in it. So that's where we need to look in the future. So with that, I will answer any questions to the extent I can. I would hope that someone will make a motion to approve the settlement, and we have both the resolution at tab 4, and then tab 5 is the actual release that the county official would sign releasing the program.
I've got a question.
Yes, sir.
So far today, we've received 318,000 once we get the program.
That's correct.
And I know we've already got these others. Now then, that's 318,000. What's the 535?
That is the amount on this Kroger settlement that goes into the Region 16 fund. If you look at the green sheet, this very first sheet, and you look at the bottom line where it says Kroger, the
Yeah.
10,000 is the direct payment,
I see what you're saying.
and
So
the 535,
our percentage is 10,000 of that 535.
that is incorrect. That is incorrect, yes. You get $10,000, that's yours, the county forever. There's a separate 535 that Limestone County may apply against and try to get more. And so the 10,000 is a different bucket.
Okay, so we have.
Let me say it another way, I'm sorry. The 535, remember I said there's a 15%
Yeah.
bucket to the state, 15 to the counties, and 70 to the overall fund. This is the region that Limestone's in, their slice of the overall fund on this settlement only.
That's the much you can go after. Extra from what we've already.
From
received.
Kroger, that's right.
So let me, one more thing. Who will we be working with? Or is it independent of us to try to go after this extra money? If we were to need a ambulance in Limestone and one in Mahale, or whatever.
There's an application process, and the Freestone County had not done anything either, and they asked me for some help, so I said, I've got a young attorney in my office getting exact the procedures, who we send it to, how you ask for it, the best way to ask for it. I'm also finding out what has already been granted and what has been rejected to the extent it has, so we read off that cut, but I will help the county understand. I'll get the packet. Do I need to send it to Roy the friend or to you, or to whom should that come?
What are other counties doing?
With the county district attorney. I've only been asked twice to provide this starter kit, how do we do it? So
What did Freestone County do? Send it to the county attorney?
they just asked me to send it to the county attorney. So I'll come in and have a meeting. I'm down here every weekend. So I just stop in Monday morning, have a cup of coffee for Roy, give him the package and say, hey, here's what we need to do.
He's only got a couple more Monday mornings to hit.
Oh, okay. Who's the new district attorney?
His name's Jeff James.
Okay. Spell the last name, please.
JANES.
Okay. All right.
And are the fees for this packet tied into the?
Yeah, I'm not gonna charge that. No, they're not. I'm just gonna do that. Thank you, county. And good question. Yes, sir. I'll always ask county.
He just expects to keep his road really good down the road.
That's right.
And so, if I'm hearing correctly today, you're asking the Commissioners Court to consider authorizing me to sign off on the settlement, at least on this last one.
Yes, the resolution and the exhibit A. So, yes.
I move we approve the LPR settlement with Kroger as per presented what I've got there.
I'll second the motion in a second. Is there any other discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
You brought up a good point, and ask you one more thing about the high-speed railroad. You said you might give an update.
I'm happy to give an update. So, some of y'all heard this, and a few of you hadn't, but I was in Woodson over here in Groveback. They said, boy, it's a shame about that train coming through. And I said, what are you talking about? And they said, well, they're putting a train right through the ranch, through the Brown Lake. And they didn't send me any notices. There may have been a reason for that, it's way back at the beginning. And so there was two statewide groups trying to find it. We put them together. And I said that I would foolishly donate a bunch of free legal time over 5 years, just to try to help everybody, because I thought it was a really bad deal. Our study of it was that it was really based on Japan. Everything we used to buy was made in Japan. Now it's all made in China. They don't have any exports anymore. So they thought they could export this train technology. It's a great train, but it's about a 65-year-old technology now. And it has Elon Musk wants to do a Hyperloop. And I mean, if we're gonna build something, why don't we use new technology? Why don't we build it American? That was kind of my first thought. And then when I got into it and started studying a little bit, this sounds crazy, but it's 100% true, and I document all of this. The Japanese company is called, in Texas, it's called Texas Central Railway, but they're a Japanese company. They hired a venture capital fund to kind of be their front and, promote it. It's back about 2010, running up about 2015. There were 5 partners in that firm, and on their website, 3 of them are ex-CIA and 2 are ex-Department of Defense. All of them were stationed in Tokyo. So there were government workers over there, got in good with the Japanese government, Americans, and then retired. And then the Japanese wanted a foothold in the United States and hired these guys to start a company promoting this rail and make it look Texas. I'm very thankful that Drake McClain built the Baylor Stadium, but he was doing a giant real estate play in Houston to make money off the stations and apartments and all, wherever the station was going to be, everything else was going to be valuable. And there was a guy in Dallas doing it that I actually represented a long time ago named Jack Matthews. They two powerful guys, good friends of the lieutenant governor, that were the Texas front for the Japanese coming in here trying to do this. And from the very beginning, the Japanese were masters of disinformation, and it was all over the Texas Central's website. We'll never take a dime of government money, never. As a result, they got green lighted through a bunch of state approvals, and they got federal approvals because, again, we're not taking a dime of money. You may know the name Ron Kirk. He was ex-mayor of Dallas. They hired him. They didn't know we could do how to monitor the press in Japan, but we get him telling the Japanese bankers who were helping to fund this thing, oh, it's going to be a lot more than 10 billion. It's probably going to be 30 billion, but we're going to get a bunch of federal grants. And so that's when I really decided to get in and fight them, because they were lying in both places. We ended up, they filed over 40 suits to get on people's property to force their way on a survey. We defended all of those, and they never got a court order to get on and do a preliminary eminent domain survey. We had a lawsuit. I filed one lawsuit on behalf of the gentleman in Leon County, and we had a long case in Centerville, and we won that the Texas Central Railroad did not have eminent domain. They appealed that. It was supposed to go to Waco. Waco has a great court of appeals. It went to Corpus. Great McClain may have had something to do with that, and we lost in Corpus. They reversed us and said the high-speed rail does have eminent domain. We went to the Supreme Court, and when we got to the Supreme Court, the lawyer that I've been fighting the whole time was now on the Supreme Court. So my opponent that had written the briefs in Corpus Christi was now a member of the Supreme Court. That's the kind of money they were spending, and they were using me for free. So she had to recuse herself, and then Eva Guzman ran for governor, or ran for attorney general, I guess. So we only had 7 votes on the Supreme Court instead of 9, and you had to get 4 to get a full hearing. We got 3, and we got all our briefs in, and they said that they rejected us, and Abbott appointed somebody to replace Guzman. We went back and we got the required votes to have a full hearing, and then the state of Texas called us and said, the Solicitor General said, we're taking your side. So I was going to get argued before the Supreme Court. The state of Texas said, we're going to argue for you if you like to. You always say yes or sit down if that happens. So the Solicitor General argued the landowner's side that this Japanese company should not have eminent domain, and surprisingly, the court went 5-4 at the end. And so we did not overturn the ruling that they had eminent domain. But about 9 months before we got to the Supreme Court, they fired all their employees, everybody on the board resigned, and they only have one restructuring officer. He's a lawyer that works somewhere. So it's a dead company, and our goal in the beginning was win death by 1,000 cuts, slow them down, make everybody look at it. That worked. They did. Unfortunately, the last day, the Supreme Court said they do have eminent domain. So the Japanese government could come back, pump money into it at some point, but they lost confidence because we slowed it down. And then that's all the state side. It's a little, sorry, it may have been a little more than you wanted, but on the other side is the federal side, and I'll short circuit that to say that they lost a major thing that we fought in Washington. And the federal government said you have to go through a long process, it's about 1.5 years, and prove your finances before we'll approve this to be built. Texas Central lies about that. Anytime there's any stirring, oh, Biden might spend some money, they say, we're shovel ready, we're ready to go. And they are not. They're probably millions of dollars of legal fees and a big fight in Washington and a certification, Surface Transportation Board away from being shovel ready. We beat them in Texas, they have no employees, and I think the project's dead, but you never know.
Thank you, Mr. Beckman. I'm gonna go ahead and keep moving along.
All right, I'm
I
sorry.
appreciate
Thank
that.
you so
Thank
long.
you. We have a little bit of, but we do appreciate what you're doing for us. And above all, what you're gonna do for us. Try to get some more money. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Blake.
Okay. Let's go ahead and move along then, and go to item number 14. That's going to discuss the action to appoint Limestone County Historical Commission. We've got a recommendation of Charles McDaniel from the Limestone County Historical Commission Association. What's the pleasure on appointing Charles McDaniel? Have a motion? Second. And a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. On item number 15 is going to discuss the action to replat of Longhorn Ridge Reserve. Is there someone here today to speak on that issue? Come on up, sir.
Yes, sir, so
Go ahead and state your name. for us.
Eric Sanford.
Okay, thank you.
So the owner of this land, the county's earlier in the year approved the subdivision plat for this. He wanted to change 2 of the lot layouts and add an easement to the property. There's been a little bit of a mix-up in the partnership too. So he's got a new partner in the deal, and they want to change the name of it as well from whatever it was, Stone Wolf, yeah, to Longhorn Ridge, and change those 2 property lines.
Yeah, that's area between Block and Cooch. I make a motion to approve that replat.
Okay, we have a motion on the table.
Second.
And a second, any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Thank you, Eric.
Yes, that will pass. Thank you. Let's go ahead then and talk about item number 16, is going to be discuss the action on local policy for vacation time. We actually met on this before and made some changes. The only changes that we're making today is we're changing the wording in there to go from days to hours. Everything seems to be done in hours when we're talking about this, so if y'all don't mind, let's go ahead and make this official so that we're not talking about days, but we're talking about hours. And if y'all remember, we said we're going to go ahead and raise that up to 300 is how many you can actually accrue. However, we're still back down to the 120 if we're leaving. So I need someone 160, 160. Is it 160 or 120?
120 in here.
Yeah, I thought it was 120.
What was it? When you leave, you can get paid for how much vacation time? Was it 160 already?
It's, if you were here,
5 years ago last year.
over 5 years, the max you could accrue was 160, and that's what you, if you had that, that's what you got.
Does this need to read 160 in here?
It should say 120 and 160, right?
This says the maximum accrued vacation time will be 300 hours. However, at the time of termination, resignation, or retirement, the maximum paid by the county will be 120 hours.
Because you're there for 1 year, 5 years is 120. So 5 years beyond, so it actually needs to be an amendment to add 160 if you're 5 years beyond.
If y'all approve it, to state that, we'll make sure it goes in the record like that. 120 for less than 5 years and 160 for over 5 years.
So moved.
Okay, second, motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We'll make sure. Okay. That will be been approved, so now let's go ahead and go into item number 17, and this is going to be discussed action on an easement agreement with East Lake Limestone Volunteer Fire Department. This is the easement agreement, I think we're trying to get to where we put the towers out there. What's your thoughts on this?
So the make a motion to approve the easement agreement.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
And a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed?
I will say that, Mr. Dabney has moved forward, and a lot of those towers are up now, and East Lake Limestone was very, cooperative with him, and they're going to put a really large tower there and take the one down they have, and they'll be able to move their communications up on that tower. Be beneficial to everybody.
Okay, next item number 18 is something we could almost have on every commissioner's court meeting. It's for safe, except for record of donation of a washer and dryer for the Old Fort Parker Historical Site from Arnold and Penny Grace. Have a motion to approve it. Second. And a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item number 19, discuss take action on reappointment of Doug Potts and John Bell to the ESD2. I know Doug is here, but once again, that time is up, and so they're wanting to be, they're asking to be reappointed. Second motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Along that same
Stuck
line,
again.
say again.
I said he's stuck again.
Right. Discuss take action on accepting the resignation of Paul Lawler as the ES2 board member and consider nomination of a board replacement. I think this can be done all in one motion, but we do have the recommendation of Chuck Radney, and I know Mr. Radney's here today, to fill that position that was resigned. So moved. Have a motion? Second. And a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? So now we got Westlake back there. Like we should. Good deal. All right, let's go to item number 21. For record, engagement letter agreement with Pro LLP for cybersecurity incident in conjunction with the Texas Association of Counties. And this is, as y'all may or may not know, we did have a hack. I don't see Zach. Zach's not going to be here, is he?
Not today.
Anyway, Zach that came through one of the apartments here within the courthouse, and this is hiring this company to help us get past that, to make sure that we get this claim done. So just like we did probably, what, maybe 3 months ago? How long ago was that, Mike?
May. The first one was May.
Huh?
The first time was May.
It's May. So last May, we had the same exact thing happen. We do have a lot of things in place to stop this, and we think that we're pretty well protected, but we need to go into an agreement with this company here.
It's $7,710 for this service. Correct?
It'll be out of their budget. Where we gonna take that money?
Well, and they probably have enough money right now within their budget, but it may cost them to lower.
Yeah, as of right now, he has the money, but eventually he'll run out.
So I think at that point in time, we have
We'll deal with them.
to deal with it then.
I move we enter into the engagement letter with Crow LLC.
Second. A motion and a second, any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Okay, item number 22, discuss and take action, advertising for bid for the H&H study on storm damage as required by FEMA. This is something that they're asking us to do. It's primarily, tell me about the island or something.
Well, we got a couple of bridges that we could get help on, but they require us to do the H&H study to tell us if we can enlarge it any or got to go back the way it is.
Because this has a lot to do with getting funding
Bridge
back from
and
FEMA.
culverts, there's about 25 different culverts out there.
Okay, and I think we just put some money in there to pay for the money. I will make a motion, I have a second.
Second.
And a second, any other discussion, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? I'm sorry, the next one is the actual, discuss and take action on advertising for bids for contracting the drive piling for the bridge at LCR 214. This is something that we think may get up above the $50,000.
Well, I talked to him yesterday, and on this particular job, it's $14,000
That's all it's gonna be?
for him to drive the pipe.
And the material's already sitting there waiting to be done.
Part of the materials are sitting there, but this is just to drive the pilings and we'll construct the rest of it.
Okay, so we don't necessarily have to do this and do it.
For as bid, it's be $12,000-14,000.
Okay, and that's something we don't have to go out to bid for. It's a total job. Now, remember, if 4 components of the job reaches over 50, we need to go ahead and advertise for bids. You're saying it's not gonna happen.
The bridge itself will probably be over 50, but not the contract labor.
Okay. The total county, take away the amount that the county's gonna be buying, the labor, the material, all that. Whatever we do, is the extra part of it that we're gonna be paying out gonna be over 50,000?
No.
Okay. I think we can probably go ahead and pass over this item, take no action on it. I don't think we need to go out to bids on that. So at the time, I was under the impression that it would be over 50, and I want to make sure we. Okay, that being the case, I think I've got some comments that I'd like to give. First thing I want to do is comment on 2024. It's been a very good year for Limestone County, I think. We've done a lot of good things. I'm real excited about what the commissioners have been able to approve this year and get done. I want to remind everybody that next week, starting the 16th, and especially the day of the 17th of that evening, we're going to be having a 100-year anniversary for this building right here, the Limestone County Courthouse. And so if you have a chance, I'd like to welcome everybody to come. That same night, we're having the Tree of Angels that we talked about earlier, but that night, we're going to be opening up all the offices here. People are going to be there to explain what's going on within the courthouse. And we've really worked real hard with,
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, right? Yeah, I know we're gonna have Angela Worst come in.
What day did you say, Judge?
That's gonna be the 17th, and we're gonna have something here at the courthouse. So please try to come if you can. I wanna do something that's often, I've only had to do it a few times since I've been a county judge, but I want to personally thank Bill David Sadler for what he's done for Limestone County. This will be his last meeting. I wish we had a great big fat check to give you. Unfortunately, well, I can just give you your name plate there and tell you thank you for what you've done.
Well, thank you all very much, and I've enjoyed serving the past 4 years with y'all, and I wish Commissioner Goodman and the rest of you the best of luck in the future.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Last thing I want to do is, on behalf of the commissioners, I want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. This will be our last meeting until the new year comes in. So thank y'all very much for attending, being interested. I really wish we had this place full of people that were really interested. So for those of you that keep coming, thank you very much. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Got a motion?
Second.
And a second. All in favor, say aye.